Welcome back to Hannity. So the left has once again taken their vile rhetoric to a whole new low. Now, a political action committee, which goes by the name Deport Racism, used young children to attack Donald Trump in a disgusting new video. Watch this.
Hola, Donald Trump! Screaming, "Get out of my country!" Republicans use offensive words.
So here's a few of our own.
You racist.
We're Latino kids born in the USA.
Yo, Trump, you may be high in the polls.
Thanks to racist suckers, but you're all going to have to come from me.
If you try to deport my abuelita, mother. You see, the Constitution makes me a citizen.
And you hate that because I'm brown.
And you say you're a patriot?
But you want to tear the Bill of Rights down.
I'm an American.
Born in the USA.
This is my home.
You can't take my rights away.
If you don't like our Constitution and what it stands for, get the out of my country.
And joining me now with reaction, conservative columnist A.J. Delgado and Fox News contributor Julie Roginski. You know, A.J., I look at this and I'm thinking, what parent would allow their kids to be dropping these F-bombs, saying these things that are absolutely so incendiary and over the top? I expect it from the Democratic Party. You're going to let your kids do that? What's your reaction?
I think as a Latina, what's most infuriating, aside from the fact that they're exploiting these poor children, is that they're pretending to speak for Latinos. And I can tell you that part of the reason that many Latinos, millions of Latinos, are supporting Donald Trump is he's standing up for us and he's saying exactly what it is we need. We have a huge unemployment crisis in our community. And when you have someone who's talking about bringing manufacturing jobs back to America, about negotiating better trade deals, about stopping illegal immigration, so we actually have jobs that aren't constantly being undercut by people willing to do these jobs for less, then that's music to our ears. He's even talking about helping veterans, many of whom are Latinos. We love Donald Trump specifically because we're Latino. You know, so when someone asks me, you know, how can you support him as a Latina? I almost want to ask, well, as a Latino, how is it you don't?
You know, I love that ripping up the Bill of Rights, which I didn't know it applied to people that were illegal immigrants. You can't say the term anchor baby, you know, even though...
Isn't that ironic? It's they're celebrating lawlessness, but then citing the Constitution. A little bit ironic
That's a pretty good point. What's your reaction to this as a Democrat?
Well, it's not as a Democrat, but as somebody who does campaign ads for a living, I would say to you, it would have been an effective ad had they stowed the language. The language is completely inappropriate. Making these kids, exploiting these kids, as you said, is inappropriate. Pointing out that natural-born citizens are natural-born citizens. Kids who are born here are legally here and are legally citizens. That is part of our Constitution.
Wait, stop. But Donald Trump talked about illegal immigrants.
Well, Donald Trump went further than that.
What Donald Trump said is factually accurate. Some of people crossing this border may want a job and a better life. I give, of course. But they have to do it legally, and there are people that come here without our best intentions.
But Donald Trump did go further. Donald Trump said we need to examine the kids of those people and whether they're American citizens or not, and they are constitutionally American citizens. What I'm saying to you is...
We can have the whole 14th Amendment debate, but the reality...
It's not a debate, it's a reality. But what I'm saying...
No, it's not a reality. If you're in this country and you're a parent illegally, I don't think you should have natural-born citizenship when the parent's here illegally.
Take it up with the Supreme Court. I mean,
I'll go argue it tomorrow.
The law's the law, but what I'm saying to you about this particular ad is it would have been very effective had they stowed the language. The language is completely inappropriate. But you know what? They wanted a viral ad and they got it.
AJ, this is the Democratic playbook.
Only a few first world nations in the West have birthright citizenship. It is ridiculous that we have it. It's
you
not
may not like it, but it's constitutionally accurate.
No, it's not.
Right, so let's take it up like Sean said, because in practice, it's ridiculous. You shouldn't be able to come here when you're 8 months pregnant, pop out a kid, and that's an American citizen. It's ridiculous. And normal people would agree. If that makes somebody a racist, it's ridiculous.
You pointed out something. We have 95 million Americans out of work, and you're right. If you have people crossing the border, they're competing for jobs. The Hispanic community, the black community have been disproportionately impacted by the lack of economic growth and job opportunity. You have more people competing for fewer jobs, driving down wages, and hurting American citizens. This is a big, you know, and the Hispanic community, you're saying, will vote for Trump in bigger numbers than is reported often in the media.
And this is a perfect example, Sean. Something you won't ever hear from the left, Cesar Chavez, the great Latino icon, used to patrol the border like a Minuteman. Why? Because he wanted to keep laborers out to help the Latinos that are here. That's the same thing Latinos like myself and others want to do. I want to help my mechanic neighbor that lives next door. I want to help my other Latinos friends that are looking for jobs and can't because they're competing with all these illegal immigrants that continuously undercut them. Same with my African American friends. These are people that built this nation with the sweat of their brows, and they're seeing themselves undercut by foreigners who are coming here illegally. That is unfair,
The black
it's
and
unjust,
Hispanic
and we need to look
community
out for them.
have been disproportionately impacted by the lack of job growth under Obama. And here now there's more competition because we don't control our borders. Here's my question. Is that fair to
Sean,
American citizens that are here?
So, Sean, what
I asked you a question.
I'm answering your question. So what I'm hearing right now is that I'm hearing that Donald Trump is suddenly magically, because of his views, which you agree with.
I asked you.
I'm answering your question.
Is that fair?
Is it fair?
That there's so much more competition for the few jobs available and
Sean,
driving
they're
down
not
wages.
competing for the same jobs. You have the Chamber
They're
of
not
Commerce.
competing for the same jobs. According to
Yes,
who?
they
According to
are.
the Chamber of Commerce, according to all your friends in the Republican parties.
Commerce.
Well, excuse me, the Chamber of Commerce, which is by no means a Democratic
When
shill.
did they ever come out saying that they're not competing for those
Once
jobs?
a pathway to
They're
citizenship because they think it's going to lead to
amnesty
job
shills,
creation. Excuse me,
absolutely.
let me finish. It's going to lead to job creation. You have people like Marco Rubio before he decided to become a born-again Republican Tea Partier, sponsoring legislation because he knew it was going to create jobs as a pathway to citizenship.
Right.
So take it up with people in your own party.
Let me show quickly. Donald Trump is hosting Saturday Night Live. Here's a promo that they started to air.
This week, presidential candidate Donald Trump will be hosting Saturday Night Live, and I'm not supposed to say this, but he said I could be his running mate.
Cecily, did you hear? I'm Trump's VP.
I'm just shopping around.
All right, AJ, I think a big plus for him. Obviously, he still leads in the polls. Does he sustain it to the end? In other words, do some people maybe chicken out with an outsider insurgent candidate, or does he go all the way?
I think he goes all the way. He's been dominating for months, and the more people hear about him, the more they love him.
What do you think?
So.
I think he's going to get out probably sometime after New Hampshire and look for an easy way out in order to get enough delegates, I think, to be the
it's
keynote
wishful
speaker.
thinking on your part.
Oh, please, I would love nothing more. Please, Donald Trump, be the Republican
You know what?
nominee.
I wish nothing more for Hillary to be your nominee. So we're
Great.
in the
We'll
same
have a little
spot.
bet about that. Let's
All
see
right,
what happens.
coming up.